Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today in Prehistoric Kingdom. It's great to be back in this game as always. It's super peaceful and really has a freedom of creativity to it. Sorry it's taken a little while for another episode. It's taking a while to get into a good recording schedule that fits with my day-to-day life. Nevertheless, I hope you all enjoyed our last few of them with the mixed species habitats. They were great to create. Today, we're working on a habitat for our Carcharodontosaurus, which I find to be a mouthful. I'll try my best. When first setting up the enclosure, I didn't realize how little space they needed, and made a massive one, as these guys only needed roughly 5,000 square meters for this group I set up. And I made an enclosure over 20,000. That's a lot of space to fill. I wanted it to be lush, and I had anticipated going over their forest requirement, but ended up finishing up right in their preferred zone, probably in thanks to the space I gave them. Of course, I didn't fill out the distant forest as much as I'd liked, but that would have been outside their enclosure anyways. I designed the pond to look man-made and artificial, as if the zoo wanted to make sure the species resided near the Spinosaurus, and had wanted to put in a grand rock feature that sprouted from the middle. But as I started to work on it, I felt that too much rock, too big, and too centrally focused would take away from the rest of the habitat. So I left it a smaller, more reserved rock feature, and I might add a few more smaller, less impressive ones around the large one later, as if chunks had fallen away from it. I built a very simple platform because I didn't want it to be the focus of the build, and instead wanted the forest and the animals to be the focus, unlike the Spinosaurus habitat where I wanted their viewing platform to be the keystone of the enclosure. I will eventually move some of the trees and add more of the prefab viewing platforms to this one once I figure out the spacing behind the habitat where other species will go. I don't want to have expanded the clutter too much that I can't get another decently sized habitat behind it, considering I've lost much of my available landscape to the overly large hill I built for the Ankylosaurus. I might cut that down and reshape it in the future. We'll see. I had envisioned the Carcharodontosaurus weaving between trees and emerging for the viewers from between branches and trunks. In a way, you'd hear them and feel their footfalls long before you see them. I like that visualization, and I've used it a few times. I imagine it's very much what they'd be like if we got to experience them in life. I did initially provide pathways and clearings from the trees in the likeness that the large animal would be trampling saplings and small brush, preventing large growth. But I lost it a little when I started trying to fill in empty airspace. Some of the clearings remained. So it's possible, if watching long enough from the viewing platform, to glimpse these large creatures in bits and pieces, which I think is a very nice compromise. When I was filling out the forest with low ground clutter, I made a smallish group of foliage that I could replicate, and using the random size and rotation options, provide quick and easy ground cover without having to spend too much time on repeated placing. And in this manner, I was able to plop down brush in places I felt would be full of life or full of shallow rooted plants, while keeping some of the imagined game trails clear. Sadly, from the viewing platform, not much of the low clutter is visible. While filming, I discovered the babies spent all of their time either in the water or eating, and it made it super hard to catch good clips of them, so a lot of the clips will be the adults. I'm not sure why they are so invested in the water, but it is the way it goes, and there's nothing I can do about it. Even when I moved them to the fence line to see if I could clear their water pathing like I can with some of the other species, they just aimed for the water and ran at top speed to it, so there was really no good footage other than a few clips you'll see. However, with the adults, I got to see a very cool thing while recording them. While zoomed far enough away, some of their audio cues are very subdued or muted altogether, but when brought up close, you can hear it clearly. It was a very nice touch to add, as I know it's been proposed that these species use specific frequencies for hunting. Specifically, they have a low rumble that they occasionally emit while standing idle, that when you back away from them just enough, it is completely unnoticeable. Can you catch it in the video? YouTube compression might cut it, but I hope not. Anyways, Nigel will be with you all shortly to give you some super interesting facts about these majestic animals, and I really hope you all enjoyed our time together. See you in the next one.
Dun 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 dun. Watch out! Here comes the shark lizard, Carcharodontosaurus. Despite the name, this is a terrestrial animal, not an aquatic one. You can think of it as a land shark, well suited to catching large prey, with an incredibly muscular body and wickedly serrated teeth. Carcharodontosaurus gets its name from its teeth, which are long, triangular and serrated, much like the teeth of great white sharks. There must have been something in the water back in Cretaceous North Africa, because Carcharodontosaurus wasn't the only carnivore around that reached gigantic proportions. Many of the geological formations that preserve its fossils also yield the remains of Spinosaurus,